Today I am 92 years old, and it has really been great. And I just have had such a glorious party, all these friends and relatives here, and I'm just planning for 8 more years. So I hope you'll all come back in 8 years. That will be 100. Think of this birthday party, and it reminds me of my mother. When we were young, every year my mother would say, "You must come to the Christmas dinners this year, because I may not be here another Christmas."
Juggling while standing on one foot.
And when I'm talking about the birthday parties, I have to think of Mother, that maybe I won't be here another birthday, so I have to have it until I have the 100th.
Behind the other back.
Then I'm not going to give it, somebody else is going to.
Behind both backs. Confusion juggling.
I lived in San Gregorio, for a good many years. And then when I got married, I moved to Pescadero. Wasn't that a move? 5 miles. How could I dwell on the past when I have today?
I went to the San Gregorio school with all of Alice's sisters. And so today's a big, big occasion for me to be here. And nothing could be better because Alice gets, every year she's younger. Probably you'd think 92, no, she's sharper and she's younger and she's got more love and, everything about her that I love. I'm very happy to be her friend. Okay?
I remember when I first saw Kelly, and he didn't mean a thing to me. I thought because he was little and he was fat, and as though I wasn't myself, but he wasn't, but he could dance like a dream. So he asked me if I would dance, and I said, well, there was another man that danced, and they were tall and could dance like anything, and I thought, but I danced with Kelly. We had an accordion and a drum. And I still remember the man's name that played the drum, the accordion. His name was Stefnik. And he played, and the man just hammered on the drums, and we just thought it was everything. Just everything. I don't know when I first met Kelly, maybe in April. And, well, then he said, let's get married. I said, when? He said, in June. I'd only known him from March until June. I said, oh, no, we have to wait. Gee, I did. I was so stunned, and I didn't want to get married because I was having a pretty good life as it was. We lived together, really, for 65 years. That was pretty good. Lived together, lived to have a golden wedding, and had that at Riverside Farm. My father had dairy and milked cows and made cheese, and I never got away from it. As soon as I got married, my Lord, I married into the cheese too. I don't think there is such a thing as a very hot love. I think that what we had is just something, just great affection for each other that grew with you. Great, great. I think it's great. I'm so glad I'm living in this day and age, and I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I think this is a lovely age. Really, I do. We have so many advantages, you know. Doesn't make any difference if you wash your dishes. When I was young, you couldn't leave your dishes in your sink. Oh, no. Had to wash them before you went to bed. And had to have the bed made every day just on time. It's better living. Easier. Don't you think so? Susan thinks so.
Why did you have to have your bed made on time? What do you mean by that?
Well, someone might come in and see it.
Oh, I see.
See,
Nothing to do with the men.
oh, well, there was only one in those days. And it didn't
Well, I
eat.
meant as far as men maybe looking
There was only
down
one man in those days. And he didn't care if the bed was made or not, I don't think.
Well, that was nice.
This is a little bit damp. So I have to use my
Do you
eye.
think your husband would have called you a feminist today?
I just wonder sometimes what he would think about the way I live, so different. I just think, I wonder what Kelly would think. Because I do so many things on my own, you know, and I didn't in those days. Well, I did what Kelly said. He was the boss man. And we did things so different. I can't think of, if you always had to get up right on time, you always had to have the meals on time, you always went to bed on time. Now we don't do that.
Now you're on Alice time?
And that's good.
Yeah.
I don't care when I get up, but I do. But I am a victim of a time. I have to get up on time. So there's always someone at the door.
You called me the other morning and said, "Are you up in your garden?"
And I'd been out to see mine, and the things are all coming up so lovely. All the new plant bulbs we got, just great.
Did you have a garden when you lived at Willowside?
Yes, always. I never had a vegetable garden, but always flowers. Always flowers. And lots of roses. We didn't have the advantage that we had now that I can send to Jackson Perkins and get, everything beautiful. Everything beautiful. 6 new roses, and we're going to get an amaryllis. I expect it every day. I'm expecting every day. I don't know how people live without gardens. I think of all the punishment anyone could give to me would be to shut me up without a garden or a hoe. And I can't use the Bertha Dickens anymore, but I used to just love to go out and spade. And you know, that's quite a trick, but I can't do it anymore because I hate to say I'm not heavy enough, but I'm not.
You've written to the president?
Oh, Lois has, in threatening letters. We do.
What are they about?
The things that don't please us, the nuclear bomb and all the things that are going on, all what we don't like, what he's doing, and he cutting down on the things for the old people, taking everything away from the kids. We don't like. We just wrote a letter today. I do protest, and I'm so glad to hear that who's this living up in the protester, Joan Baez.
Mm-hmm.
You know she's moved into our area.
Yes, I know.
I'm so glad. I think she'll help me out. And of course, I spent some time in jail.
Who did?
Joan Baez.
I thought you were taken away to jail.
Well, I might be before this is over.
This isn't illegal.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be in the jailhouse. But you know, there are protests, and there's always so many little things that come up. They seem small things to other people, but when they wanted to turn off the lights on the Pescadero streets, on the street, how important those lights are to us, because we're all old. But this is really an old street. People are old on it. Scared of all missiles.
Why?
Because they kill. I'm scared of the fact that they're going to dumping all the trash in the ocean. I can't understand how we're going to manage. I can't understand how we're going to manage to pull through. Of course I will, because I'm old. But you young folks have a hard road ahead. We never heard of acid rain. There wasn't. I don't think. Never heard these words before. Never heard of the word nuclear bomb. Never heard that before. Never mind trying to pollute the ocean now. Isn't that something? Such crazy goings on. But you know something? I like these times. They're different than when I was 15. Well, you know, when I was young, I was once, you growing up in San Gregorio, my father got a paper once a week. And that's how we got the news. Well, by the time we got that news, whatever terrible had happened was over with and taken care of. Well, I always carried the bank books in my purse. And for many long time before Kelly passed away, he would say to me, I wish you'd take those and put them in a safe deposit box. And I'd say, all right, Kelly, I will. But you just didn't do it. It was just one of the things you didn't do. So after he was dead, I should say maybe a week or so, and always when he went out of the room in the morning, he would just tap my feet like that, not say anything, but just go out. And then one of these mornings he went out after he was gone, just did this. And of course it didn't scare me or anything. I didn't even put up a holler or anything. And I thought, what does he want? And he came back for 3 different nights and did that. And I just knew there was something Kelly wanted me to do. So I said, I could never say, Kelly, what is it? Now, why I couldn't, I wasn't scared, but I just didn't do it. I guess I was asleep, of course. And then during the day, that after the 3rd day, I took those bank books and I put them down in the safety deposit box. Kelly never came back. That ended that. And you know, if anyone else tells me those things, I don't know if I want to believe them, but it's true. I know it was true. That was the way it happened, just like that. So that's the way when you have dreams, I think sometimes they mean something. I want to come back as many times as necessary as I can, because I might miss something. That's the only thing I dread about dying. Think what I'm going to miss. Heaven's here. I feel I'm living in heaven. I don't know if everyone is. I look around, sometimes I don't think they are, but I also think hell's here too. And I don't, talk about going to heaven. I often think about, that in the hereafter, all of us going to rise and go to heaven, but I can't go. I'm scared of the traffic. Or think of all that stuff. Think of what be us going up in there, going around flying up there. I was young and lived in Pescadero, not here in this house, but in Pescadero. We had 2 doctors, and we had a dentist, and we had 2 stores. And we had a blacksmith shop. I can't think what else. We had 5 saloons. We had everything.
Fleeting breath, when my eyelids close in death, when I soar to worlds unknown, see the arm that I gentle throw. Walk away, just cleft for thee. Let me hide myself in thee.
That's enough.
There's a very sedate gentleman used to come to church here, lived out in the Butano. His name was Jim McElvaney.
Oh dear.
One day after church, it was kind of stormy and rainy, and Alice usually walks home from church, but she decided this day she'd like to get a ride home, so she kind of sidled up to Jim. She lifted up her dress a little bit, and she says, well, she didn't say just exactly, well, will you give me a ride home? And she's kind of talking to him. They're hiking their dress up a little higher. And Jim never tumbled. Finally, I was standing here watching this procedure, and I says, Jim, Alice wants a ride home. Oh, is that?
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Lot of sound, come on. Lot of sound, come on, come on, come on, come on. Lot of sound, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Lot of sound, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, Alice used to be a McKay. She got to be a Matei. Matei died, and I don't know what she's now. I can't tell you.
She has a lot of good qualities, and she's always lived a good and wholesome life. Been a good community person.
Now, do you remember who the pallbearers for her funeral?
For Alice's?
Yeah.
Well, she hasn't died yet.
Huh?
She hasn't died yet.
Oh!
When I was 88 years old, Lois and I had a friend who was in a rest home. Every time we went to see her, she said, try and get me out of here. So Lois and I planned we were going to take her out of there. How we ever got her past that desk is something to hear about. So we went up to the place and picked her up and filled the car with every inconceivable thing. I bet she didn't even leave a rag there. It was as clean as a whistle. If nothing else in this world, we've done something for Mary.
Many's the night I've spent with Minnie the mermaid down at the bottom of the sea. Minnie lost her morals down among the corals. Gee, but she was good to me.
Oh my God, am I a mermaid? Oh, awful. If you think for 1 minute that you'd give this any thought and then would do it, oh dear, you would never do it. You'd say how foolish. But that's the way fun things are fun. To do these things on the spur of the moment, and I like to do that. It's better to be a mermaid in the bottom of the sea than an old has-been on top. Have you ever been in the cemetery? You must go, have you?
Mm-hmm. Many times.
It's the most beautiful spot, have you? I think when you go and stand and look out over Pescadero, it's a beautiful spot. Well, I must say that it's been a very easy, pleasant life. There have been many difficulties, but no tragic things in my life. No sudden injuries or anything like that in my husband's life. It's been a very peaceful life, and it's all due to living on the ranch, of course, and living here with these trees. And there were so many more of them when I came here, and there was no missing place along here. But now there's so many taken out, and I was just telling Lois about it's so strange about these trees that on the hottest days they will fall over. And I can't understand why they would do that. Very shallow roots. And when they come down, they make a crash that got you out of bed in a hurry.